All right, the what? ULTRARICH knowledge pack. See, the bottom line is I don't want you to be rich ever. Isn't that terrible? You want to be rich. See, the problem if you're rich, you have to pay more tax. If you have the structure, which actually the ULTRARICH use, and the structure of corporate structure, debt offsets taxes and all that good stuff, a lot to learn, 1,000 rules and tools, you could probably pay less tax if you're structured right. But again, right now, I think most people are guessing anyway. So let's get down to the brass tacks and what we need to actually do. In the beginning, I'll need you to take a picture of that. I'm a guy that wanted it auto income. I didn't know what to call it, to be honest with you. And nowadays they call it passive or residual income. Okay, all I know is I needed money coming in to pay the bills. And that's what I did in the beginning. So when you pass that Wendy's restaurant today, ask yourself a question: why don't you own a piece of it, at least part of it? The storage unit, the laundromat, the car wash, the apartment complex. You see, that creates an income, and what I believe you've done so far is wasted up to $50,000, $100,000 in your past, and you're 35 to 75 years old, and you kind of screwed up a little bit. But I think we all do. The goal is very simple. I got the nickname of the Godfather of Credit years ago because I built over $60 billion of credit for myself and other people having fun. All right, there's me in front of one of the company cars. The bottom line is I'm going to have you write down, see it, believe it, go get it. I'm praying you got your tab and pen in front of you and you write down what I asked you to write, because I'll go to the board too. You got to process information. In the beginning, no pictures or recording, because you're going to take pictures of things that matter the most. That would be the ultimate goal. I've accomplished every goal I've ever had. Then I got bored. See, I got my first million through the corporate structure at 14 and a half, first billion at 21. All right, 2.6 billion in 26, 3.7 billion in 2009. So that's corporate structure. None of it's mine. I just get to be the puppet master. There's me in 1981, highest kick, fastest kick on the planet. And I don't understand why people say white men can't jump, since at that time I hold the record for the fastest and highest kick. But I also like goodies. You like goodies? I learned a long time ago the goodies should be through the corporation structure and through the division process. So what do we get to do? Winning the Game of Business, my first series in 1976, trying to help everybody like you. I wanted to basically understand what needed to be done through the corporate structure, winning the game. See, that's the ultimate goal. I'm going to go to the board now. I hope you have your tab and pen ready to go. Ready? Well, the first thing I would like you to do is write down the word you. You have the choice to understand. Currently, right now, I think you're kind of a bullseye. I want you to write down SS5 form equals SSN, okay, equals 1040 tax return. You see, this is how the game is played. In the past, you are even present, you could have 3 divisions of yourself, but you have to understand how to play the game to win. But it's going to be up to you. So let's understand something today. If you had a line of defense and you had an SS4 for every division of you, you could protect yourself and your family too. But it's going to be up to you to understand how to play the game. See, the SS4 was a form the IRS created as public record for entity, person, or corporation, or basically employees. It's a universal form. This form here you were told to get at 14 to 16 years old, most of you. If you didn't do it, that means mommy did it for you in 1971 when Nixon took the gold standard out. Now, you can watch basically on Google all these banks filing bankruptcy. So let's think Bank of America. Here's B of A, all right, and all the other banks bankrupting 16,000 locations. Now, they say they're closing branches, okay? Each branch is a corporation, by the way, and their parent company is managing the entities, and they call them literally what I call a subsidiary. So that means they're bankrupting, okay, the location that they signed a 100-year lease to. So they're BK in these, under the Federal Protection Act, public record as well, not here to be safe an attorney. So they're playing the line of defense in front of you, and I don't think you learned how to do that yourself, and you should have a long time ago. So again, let's do this. Let's say you have an LLC today. That's a limited liability company. It's actually a corporation as well. Maybe you have an LLP, maybe a S Corp, C Corp, maybe a nonprofit, or what they call a PC, professional corporation. Those are the types of things you can actually look at a corporation structure And what happens is I studied that as a kid. And I understand one thing for me, I want to understand how to play the game because I heard listening to a poker game that a corporation is a legal person. So me, I wanted just to get out of what I call hell at the time because I didn't like being used and abused as a kid. I believe you're a corporation today. You, whatever you have from here, we draw a square here, and what we have to understand is this. You should have it become a management company. Management company. See, what happens with banks and grocery stores in cities, they do this in front of you. You see, the city has a Chapter 9 bankruptcy under the federal government. We've watched 11 cities file bankruptcy and wipe out the debt, stay in business. All right, most people don't basically get curious like me. I tear it apart. I want to know how it worked. And that's how it helped me create what's called the division process in 1985-86. So today, let's do this. Let's think about a corporation having 9 entities. So hopefully you're writing with me at the same time. 9 entities would make sense, okay? So let's understand why. Let's say you're in real estate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's say you're in real estate today, okay? If you had 9 houses in your LLC, one basically slips, falls, and sues you and screws you up, and you lose them all. Same thing could be in the LLP. If we have these properties in each division, it actually separates liability. For me, I wanted to create the separation of liability, and I had a problem in the 70s and 80s. They kept saying loan-to-value problem. I didn't like that. So the division process. So let's understand what this means today. If you had 9 houses, and each house was a division, you would create a line of defense. The line of defense. So if one of these under the corporate umbrella had a problem, you could disconnect, isolate, incorporate, give her the bad piece. Your banks and grocery stores and cities do this in front of you, and I don't think you paid attention. I'm sorry to say, but it's true. So we give her the bad piece. So we have to be careful. The corporate structure is very crucial to all of us. But let's understand something. If we had 9 houses, now it means we have 9 liabilities of a tenant. If we have 9 houses, that means we have 9 loans. So that means we have 18 divisions. 9 to create lines of credit, 9 to have liability separating the piece. So again, depends on what you're trying to do for you and the ultimate goal. So winning the game of business was very important to me. I'm driving a Lamborghini, going to Orange Coast College at the time. I never went to high school from 8th grade to Orange Coast College. By the way, in 1976, I got my first corporate structure of $1 million in the bank. I was 16 years old, by the way, if you don't know that. So the reality is that like the next series I wanted to create something called Books for Dummies, but that was already taken. So I created the Millionaires Founder Kit. I call it also the Blueprint for Success, and that was on my TV shows and radio shows for over 30 plus years. See, I got lucky as a kid. Joanne taught me about blueprinting. You see, she wired Apollo 9, 11, 13. I lived in Delane Street with her as well. So she wasn't running around very much, but again, when she was, everything was a blueprint. So I want you to understand something. If you build a blueprint and the foundation, you can get to the $1 million dream through the corporate structure. I always believed if you can touch it, you can kick it. I kicked the door jam at 10, basketball at 14, and then the light at 13 feet. They're up and away in 1981. So let's understand. White men do jump, just stupid people say we don't. So rags to riches, we all have a sad story to tell. Everybody's got a sad story. At the end of the day, I don't think anybody cared, to be honest with you. You see, my mommy and daddy didn't want me, so I get to be with Mrs. Hope, the she-devil from hell. The goal for me is to help you repackage you. You're highly intelligent, you're here today, that's fantastic, but you're missing some pieces. Why don't we basically rebuild you like Humpty Dumpty? Let's build you my way. Here's chapter 18. Let's focus on this right now, okay? I'm basically 7.5 years old, and I hear this because I'm listening to the poker game Mrs. Hope had at her house every Wednesday night. Rich and famous people. They said a corporation's a legal person. I wrote it down. I rode my bicycle down to the Torrance Police Department. Next door is the library. Man, what does this mean? See, I was reading between about 10 to 15 books a week, trying to figure things out for myself, because when I talked to the grown-ups, I just thought they were kind of ding-dongs. All right, let's understand. A corporation's a legal what? Right there. It's right there. Now, your corporation, if you have one today, you can see your name on Secretary of State's website. You're on the bank account. So when they sue it, they sue you. You're a duck and a sheep, sorry to say, but it's true. Now the bottom here we want to look at, it says not required to file. All right, under 17983. This is what I knew was a mistake. By the time I was 9.5 years old, I sent away $10 to the Secretary of State of California. By the way, all corporations are free in all 50 states. You pay a little filing fee. That corp today would be $30 to you as well. See, I believe you spent thousands of dollars to get a corporation, to attorney, CPA, corporate service. I believe you didn't learn diddly squat, to be honest with you. So my first corporation was Helping Hand Industries. And then I got $100,000 in the mail. Mrs. Hope thought I was a crook. She called basically Ted Turner at that poker game and asked me some questions, and I said exactly what I'm going to tell you. There's 26 ways using SS4 form. I just thought he was a ding-dong, to be honest with you. So I did Helping Hand Industries, $100,000 in the mail. Next, I set up the Orange County Blind Center, trying to help a little friend I had who was blind on a TV commercial. Then I got in trouble for that too. You see, you learn life by doing life. I used the word Braille. It belonged to the Braille Institution. So I didn't know that at the time, and I learned the hard way. The goal is to never bring the pain home in the first place. Now, I got lucky when I helped witness protection, met Ken Yarborough. He was CID, bodyguard for President Nixon, and he became security chief at Tier W, which is Thomas Raymond Woolridge. The report's wrong anyway, also going to California. Become a Sperry in '96. I get to train him. We wrote a book in 1987 called File Segregation. I didn't like it because I felt he wanted to fib a little bit. He says my divisions take too long. Let's listen very carefully. I can create credit for you, corporate divisions, in the same day if you want me to. That's not very long, is it? When you sign for the lease of a car or finance or lease of a building or a credit card and you say you want to bankrupt it, the reality is they're going to come at you. Unfortunately, it's confusing on the social media because people say you can file bankruptcy and get another one. I think that's the intent to do fraud, to be honest with you. If you had a division of you would have chances to try. As long as you're trying, you're not dying. But unfortunately, you didn't have your line of defense and you screwed up you. You should have had one of these instead, just like they do, just like the Banks of America and cities and grocery stores. See, you've had the right to protect your assets your whole life. Unfortunately, you bring the pain home. And that's not acceptable to me, but it's going to be up to you to learn to play. So let's understand daisy chaining of credit. In 1987, I created a dashboard as I'm training Ken Yarborough. The dashboard allowed me to take a name of a person, corporate division, and have instant credit file. What happens is daisy chaining. If I take one card, for instance, on a corporation, I can multiply the card. Kind of like what you do for your social media or for you, for basically your friends and family, authorized user, which is a mistake anyway. So let's understand something today. What most people do is they take their personal credit, they jack it up, and they get stuck, they can't get any more. They back themselves and their family in a corner. All right, I'm the guy that came up with the oldest card and the 25% rule. So every card you get should have a sticky and dummy proof it. In other words, if we look at these cards here, there's 50,000, here's a 10. I'd rather get 10 of these than 2 of these, but it's going to be up to you. You should have 100,000 credit. If I use this at 29%, I'm good. My score stays up 70, 50 and above. If I break and use it more than that 29%, I drop my score, got stuck. See, rules and tools are pretty important as we play this game. So if we turn around and start thinking about corporate credit, corporations are what? A legal person, as I showed you, and the bottom line is the credit. We can write off interest rate credit card. So if I get one of these here, I get to multiply it times 9 more. Now I can multiply it by 99 because they allow us to, 99 more. That'd be $100 million. That's a little too much. It's ridiculous. But again, that's just my opinion. So if I take one card times 9 more, that could be $1 million of credit off one silly card. So if we build the foundation, we can finance the American dream, and we won't bring the pain home like you've been doing most of your life. Sorry to say, but it's true. So again, 1987 dashboard. I create a dashboard that allows me to use a social security number or tax ID right there on the bottom for entity. Listen to the word, write down entity, person, or corporation. And that's what I did. So the reality is if I set up an entity for you, this will have the experience, charge, not go back to business reports, history. I don't need tax ID, so I'll ask for separate billing. And then I can multiply credit left and right, 2 and that too. But again, it's a choice. Structure. You see, when your corporation does business and it's liability, they get to sue the corp, they get to sue you. But again, it's going to be up to you what you do for yourself. So the SS what? 5 equal to SSN 1040. It's right there. Then we look at the IRS, and they created an SS4 form. The SS form was created as a universal form. By the way, it's public record. Line 1 there says entity, legal name of entity or individual person. So it allows you to do this if you do it correctly with no intent to do fraud, but it's going to be up to you. If we play the game, we can multiply the credit and we can finance the American dream. Now, my dashboard allows me the choice of Social Security number or tax ID or either one. I can use the word optional. So if I do this correctly, when I'm building credit for you with a corporation or divisions, I don't have to put it there in the beginning until I need separate billing. But again, it's a choice. In other words, if I take this $40 million of credit here and I have a $62 million of this, and I get you a card off one of my cards, that means I have a choice when I actually get that card and line you up correctly. It gives me the choice authorized user or separate billing. Of course, I'm picking separate billing every time because I'm not going to give you authorized user. It's going to be kind of silly and dumb. What is our goal? Let's think, okay? You drove by the Wendy's restaurant the other day. It's on the right-hand side when you're at the stoplight. And then on the left-hand side was a Jack in the Box. Why don't you look in the mirror today, fire yourself and say, why didn't I own those? Why didn't you take the money you kind of wasted and kind of, I'd say, pissed away? Why don't you own 25% of a Wendy's restaurant or Carl Jr. or something? But again, what do? Unfortunately, because you didn't plan the problem, you keep bringing the pain home no matter what I say and no matter what I do. Let's think. 9 divisions should equal 18. That's 9 lines of credit. That's 9 locations of something. Could be a property, could be a fast food, could be something. But again, what do? We're trying to create an income. The income is what people should focus on today, not getting rich. I think people say they're rich or not rich anyway. Their corporations are rich, they're not. I believe they're puppet masters. In my books 40 years ago, I showed this when I created the division process in 85, 86. Here's a corp, here's a division, it's 3, 2 or more. That's called subdivisions. We get to build up and away, and that created about $16 million of credit, by the way. If you build your structure first, you never bring the pain home. Unfortunately, what you did is you brought the pain home because you didn't know what you're doing anyway. Sorry to say, but it's true. What do we get to do? I believe there's only 10 cards I like. I'm an affiliate, 119 creditors, by the way. So I'd say there's 10 that I like. That's it, okay? I'd like to get you 100,000 of personal credit. Probably about 10 of these. Then I'm going to get you a couple of these as well because they don't fluctuate. See, you jacked up the wrong card. That's why most of you have crappy credit in the first place. You didn't know what you're doing. You have an amateur hour. You're listening to friends and family. Silly and stupid anyway. So sorry to say, but it's true. Corporation gets $1 million of credit. So should every division. But again, repackaging you, so we're ready to do it. And I've been doing this for 49 years. This will be my 50th year in 2026. So again, getting cards for you and the corporation. Keep in mind, American Express offers 99 more. I think that's kind of crazy. But that's up to $100 million if you did it my way. It's kind of silly. So if we had a pack of 10, for instance, in 2006, 7, 8, and 9, I would do this all the time. People would wire me $100,000, usually about 10 times a day, easily, doing $1 million a day. If I got you 10 of these cards in a pack of 10, within 6 months we can do separate billing, turn it into $1 million. I'd tell you to be careful, okay? So again, what would you do with $1 million of credit or money today? I believe you're going to think about house and car. The reality is no, you should leverage it, reference 3 times 5. You see, I believe what you do is you kind of waste money, kind of piss it away when you should build that structure so you can have it again and again. But again, that's called daisy chaining of credit, by the way. That would turn one card into up to $1 million if you want to play. That's what I do, and I teach class 6 days a week, by the way. So if we think today about goals, what do we need? 38 steps to reach any goal. We have to master it 8 times and hear it again and again. We need to write it down again and again. The goal should be winning the game of business. Now, I didn't know any better. I had 19 houses I put in my division process in corps because they were telling me a loan-to-value problem. So what did I do when I was 17 and a half? I went to this event. They're selling payphones. They explained that a payphone brings in about $300 a month. Okay, no problem. I'll take basically, I said I'll take 10. See, they're $1,600 and $300 a month each. How many months would it take to get to the point I break even and get a positive cash flow? That's the ultimate goal, because math does not lie, only people lie. I went back to the events many times, and these people were complaining, about 30% of them. So I bought all their routes up. By the time I was done playing the game, I had about 22,000 pay funds. That's about 6.6 million a month, by the way. So I called it auto income, because I just wanted money coming in. See, if you do what you're told to do, I guarantee 5,000 a month easily, up to 10. And I'll even guarantee, because I carry a $2 million bond. When it gets you to auto income, again, you have to pay attention and quit doing it your way you do it, because I think your way sucks. Sorry to say, but it's true. The goal should be winning the game of business. Today, let's pretend you're listening and turning these up real loud. You lost your job. Oh, what? That's an old blankety moment. Oh, what do we do? Next week, you don't have a job yet. What do we have now? What do we do in 8 months? See, we have old crap. And what do? You bring the pain home. What you did is you jacked up the wrong card. That's your biggest problem. So let's think about common sense today. Let's sell that in a bottle, all right, for $1 million at least, okay? What does this mean? If we take the cards you have today and increase the limits, that would be the first thing to do. The next thing is to analyze. I can get anybody 150 score in about 90 days. It's pretty easy to do. Again, 150 plus score again and again and again and again. What happens is there's a graph on all these dashboards. Analytical 750 or Experian.com or even Credit Karma. The problem with Credit Karma, they don't have all 3 agencies you need for your banks. They want to look at Experian. They don't have that or a phone number to help you, and all they want you to do is clickety-clack. They've been indicted 6 times anyway in the past, so I'd say no about Credit Karma. But here's a graph. The graph is what you control. Believe it or not, that's your heartbeat of your credit. You keep making it go up and down, up and down, up and down because of your lack of knowledge is why you bring the pain home. I'd like to get you 100,000 of credit if you allow me to, please. 29% rule, that means what? 71,000 of safety. See, we have to plan the problem because it's going to happen no matter what we say or do. Cut all the stuff you waste money in every day. They say you waste $50 every other day. If it's true, that's $700 a month, by the way. A corporation with 18 divisions is what we designed here. But again, what do? We don't bring the pain home. We should create auto income. By the way, these are 100,000 or POT, paid over time limit, unlimited up to $1 million. So if I give you one of those, would you like to get 19 more, 8 more? What would you like? If we multiply the credit, we get to use that credit to buy a business. I would say like the storage unit I bought with my ex-father-in-law. Simple to say. What did we do? We closed an escrow. It maintained the debt. It paid the bill. What did we do? Offset the taxes. I got $17,350 a month, so did he. Again, then I can get a paycheck off 1986. She spent $2,000 on a card, $26 a month. By the time she was done playing with that, with Eagles Nest worldwide, I've made her a millionaire 5 times so far. So 1 year and 210 days, what did we do? We took the Hyatt hotel she did and converted it to the Blueprint Apartments in basically Texas. That's about a $27 million project right now. But again, it's going to be you to listen. Why don't you take a picture? Linda will tell you how I made her a millionaire up to 5 times so far. But again, we get to play the game to win. Isn't that the goal today? If we were to buy an apartment complex and I said, would you like to partner up with me, put 25%, you'd take it off one of the lines of credit I get you. And then we close an escrow, you own 25% of apartment complex. Now you're getting up to $10,000 a month. Fantastic. If you allow me to play a little bit further, I'm going to become the bank. In other words, we're going to convert these and split deed them, and we're going to get $39,000 to $126,000 a month being the bank. If you don't want, you just get your 10. And let me do what I do best and having fun. So I wrote a book called How to Become the Bank as well. In other words, we split deed units. Here's 2 cars and 2 buildings, part of the collection. Years ago, what did we do? Very simple. I always made sure the suit matched the car, so did the Rolex watch as well. And then from there, basically the up and away. Again, the devil's wife grabbed my money and said, you're paying rent. I was paying rent since I was 8.5 years old. It kind of sucks. So I'd like you to get out your cell phone right away today and take a picture of this, and I'll tell you when to take that picture right now. What does this do? I would take it right now. That would be your goal. That should be your dream. See, this is where you kind of messed up years ago. See, you should own these pieces, at least 25%. But again, what did you do? You keep bringing the pain home. So I'd like you to print that in color and laminate it, put it on your refrigerator, your desk at work, and make it your screensaver. If I build you $150,000 of credit, these are two at Wells Fargo, 150s. Would you take $25,000 to be part of a piece and let the escrow close? You get the leftover because of the corporation structure. I sued all the banks in '96 and won. See, your banks have to put divisions on the same bank account to build your average balance to help you build a line of credit. I hope you took your picture already that day because the goal is to play the game to win. Now, we've allocated about $10 million and we certify here. And what do? My vice president of the company, his name is Santos. His responsibility is to find 10 projects a week, a week. So we can basically present them to our clients and say, would you like to put $25,000 into that project and get up to this amount of money at the end of the escrow on a monthly basis? Own a piece. The goal is you do, I do, or we do. In other words, I can teach you to do it all and give you a broker's list, no problem. If we do it together, I'll be your CFO, one of your attorney of facts. From there, I'll do all the work if you're not ready to be an entrepreneur. Reality is it's better if I do the work anyway because you don't screw up anymore, and that's the ultimate goal for all of you. But again, it's going to be up to you. First of all, I have to blueprint you. That means you and I on the phone up to an hour with your partner of life. We're going to look at past, present, and future. Good, bad, ugly. Do you screw up American Express or Chase? You have a bankruptcy or tax problem. Next, I need to know if you're married and have kids. Corporation, how many divisions you have, what type of corporation you have too. House, all right, we got to protect ourselves, irrevocable trust. That will buy the house in the future. Right now, your house needs to be protected. All right, so does your car. The car, this is what confuses me, all these people on social media going, you got to only write off so much of the car. Stop. The only thing that matters on the car you drive today is you change registered owner to a division. So if you're in a bumpity bump at Sam's Club, you're not the registered owner. They can't sue you and kind of mess you up. Next, down the road, you'll turn that car into the company car. The corporation, through the division process, will write it off anyway. That's the way it's going to play the game. So what do? House is trust. Car we protect, and we have to look at auto income, and it's called cash flow for your time. I put it in my book 49 years ago, by the way. It's simple. A blueprint call with me is normally $2,000, you and your partner of life, up to an hour. If you did it during the broadcast, it's $9.99, but that means you Zelle now, or you call the office right away. If you partner with me in a program, guess what? You get it for free, but it's going to be up to you. So we get to play the game to win. One of the things about this form, well, as I showed you in chapter 18, it said not required to file. I knew that was a mistake. I was 9.5 years old. Couldn't figure it out right away, but what did I get to do? I got to figure it out later on. I'm a good listener. This form here said husband and wife and partner in 1984. That's what it said. I got this letter in the mail in 1984, and it says I have to pay $800 to $1,000 per corporation franchise tax fee. Well, what scared me is I owned some Shakey's, some 31 Flavors, some Subways, shopping centers, some condos. I'd have to pay up to $1.2 million just for franchise tax fee. I asked Sacramento a question, could I create an entity under the corporation? Remember the word entity? They said create a form or modify one. This form got modified over the years many times. Your corporation will be number 4A. One of my corporations will be number 4. We will actually put a B and a C there so they can have a piece as well. So these 4 entities will actually own a piece of a Wendy's, storage unit, laundromat, so you get auto income. That's why I developed it for me over the years since 1987. But it's up to you. See, I like to turn around and have you get to a corporate millionaire status through the corporate division process. I've actually analyzed 50 million people so far over the years and helped everyone simple. And we could play the game to win if you want to. See, I like my way. I don't like your way because your way brings the pain home. Now, if we play today and we get into a 12-month coaching program, I'm on the phone with you every 3 weeks telling you what to do, by the way. I'd like to give you $200,000 of credit, $100,000 of personal and the corporation. Usually about 20 grand just for the credit. From there, blueprint call and 12 months of coaching, usually about $27,000. If you did it today, it would be $20,000 and you save $7,000. Good, simple. All right, you get to play, get all the goodies and all that credit too. If you don't need the credit, then we do it for the $10,000 just to line you up and coach you every 3 weeks. And I'm going to tell you what needs to be done. By the way, I have one left. So then I have my 40. See, next year's my 50th year, and I'm going on a business trip. And I'm going to help my 40 people, hopefully for the rest of my life, have fun with them. And I got junior and senior coaches that'll help the rest of you. So that last one today is basically Zelle the deposit right away or call the office now. And if you don't, I'm going to say you blew it, but it's up to you. All right, see, I got the bank accounts we need to verify if you need that as well. Because what happens, they want to see 30 transactions and 100,000 plus a month. Well, I've got that. If we partner together, we can share them together. We can have the ultimate goal. But again, there's 1,000 steps to rules and tools. Again, how we play. Now understand, the Millionaires Founders Kit was sold at the Bonaventure every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. for 32 years. Ontario, okay, very simple. Orange County and Long Beach as well for 32 years, being the second largest advertiser in California, having fun helping people like you. We all have an old poopity day, very simple, 2009. My wife wants to take 72 people on one of the yachts. I got 3 yachts in the backyard, middle yacht, why not? Okay. Someone had a virus, didn't tell anybody. Guess what I get to do? My wife calls Ron at the office, district manager, says, we need some help raising a company, he's probably going to die. He drives a U-Haul truck to the office, steals books and CDs to U-Haul truck. Tom, instead of helping, he basically sizes up and sells my database, has 50 million people in the database, and he sells it to a porn site, by the way. So what's the goal at the end of the day? Who do you trust? I trust God, me, and my wife, and my kids. There's your Zelle. Take a picture now. If you want to get into that program, you got a choice to Zelle now. Or call the office at 800-254-9506. Use a card, they charge you 5% more. That's what they do. It's going to be up to you. If you need an office because the bank wants a real address, you can use my address if you want to, or your home address. I don't use that for banking credit purposes, and then I would use a mailbox, etc. We don't have a shared office space. What we do is we lease out 12 feet at a time. So the goal is I have about 4 left on that too. So if you need 12 feet to lease and say it's your address, let us know. It's very simple to do. So you're going to need Dun & Bradstreet. If you don't have it already, that's supply and vendor credit. Take a picture. Analytica will help you set that up as well. Our ultimate goal is to make sure you understand. I'm going to give you a list. It's a daily or weekly or checklist. I'm going to be telling you what to do. I don't really want you to think. The more you think, you kind of screw it up. So we're going to do it my way for a while. Is that okay? So here we go. 2009, I got all the goodies in the backyard. Everything I touch turns to gold to $100 million plus, so it has since I was about 4.5 years old, building it up and away. But again, what do I get to do? I get to go in a coma. There's the address. You can actually Google it and verify I'm telling you the truth. But the reality is very simple. That day, I get to hear everybody talking. My tax attorney tricks my wife to sign a POA. The nurse asked my wife if I was a donor. But I was given a choice to stay in peace or go back. I said go back because my wife's falling apart. Now this man here says he lost his job. He has 2 kids to feed. Okay, maybe we can relate to that too. Who knows? Well, first I'd say basically I don't believe him. He's holding up that sign getting $210 a day for free. If he had wife and kids or just the kids, he had to live with mommy and daddy or house or apartment, then why don't you just have a garage sale? Why don't you just drive Uber, Lyft, or DoorDash? There solves the problem. Go to the church for the food for the kids. I don't believe him. If he showed up today, I'd put him to work. What did I do after coma in 2011? Simple. I have my 3 divisions of me, my closet divisions as well. I built $1 million of credit, all right, within 6 weeks. I bought my wife her next dream house. You see, I planned the problem. I think that's where you need to start thinking that way too. Now, what do? We all have an excuse or have an excuse or a reason. I don't believe in excuses. I think we all have problems. We all basically, it's like me, moved 24 times till I'm 11.5 years old. In reality, it wasn't fair. It wasn't even nice as well. But again, I've been shot 3 times and knifed 6 times. I have no excuse, neither do you. I believe in faith and persistence, and I'll get through all the pain. And I'm going to say always good every time. And thank you, Jesus. No one steals my peace. There's the ultimate goal for you. If you learned something today or in the past, please take a picture and write me a Google review. If you don't like me, please leave me alone. Simple. Luckily, they changed the laws now. And these 3 people are going after the people that lie on the internet. So if they ever hurt your business, let us know. Because it's not fair when someone lies. See, I'd help the devil if he showed up today, just like I'm trying to help you. What do we get to do? You took that SS5, you didn't fill out, you didn't realize it's an SS5. You got an SSN, Social Security number, and that creates your 1040 tax return. You got to remember, it's we the people, by the way. On the Social Security card, if you look at the back of it, it says do not laminate. You don't use for ID purposes, do not carry with you. Unfortunately, you break the rules and tools all the time because no one explained it to you. If we compare the SS5 to the SS4 right there in front of you, it says legal name of entity, or individual person. It's a universal form. You can actually create 3 divisions of you if you want to with no intent to do fraud. But again, we get to play the game. What most of you did is you start a business, or what you did at your kitchen table with your friends and family. You said, honey, we're going to start a business. We're going to jack up the cards, drop the score, get stuck, can't get it anymore. We're going to hawk the house and bring the pain home to you and me and kind of be silly and stupid. That's what you did. Sorry to say, but it's true. I believe you jacked up the wrong card. If you would have understood, these can be jacked up and you don't have to drop your score ever, as long as you maintain the payment. There's no reason to ever bring the pain home. If you have collection items, there's 5 ways to kill a debt. If you have a problem with the IRS, they have a form for you on irs.gov too. It's called 656 433A and B. The goal is to repackage you like Humpty Dumpty. I came up with the 25% rule. All cards should be 25 to 29%, period. That's why all your dashboards say below 30. That's the rules and the tools to get used to. Know what card that does not fluctuate, the ultimate goal for you. Now, I'd like to set up the credit files for the kids in high school and college, if you allow me to. Unfortunately, on these social media things, we hear all these silly things saying, you need a Capital One secure card. The answer is no. That would actually give you an inquiry to do the opposite. You're trying to build it up and away. If you allow me, I can get you a card. Usually I can set up the credit file and get the card right away and set up the credit bureaus. If you don't want me to help you on that, you get an Open Sky card. There's no inquiry. You put $200 on the card, spend $25. That's all you got to do. I'd like to donate my time to help people in high school and college start their credit file and get them their first credit card. I like to ensure they don't make the same mistake we did. See, no one taught us rules and tools. That book that's a free download, you can learn how to do that too. If you need to call 800-254-9506, you can do that as well. The goal is to help people. So remember, all cards fluctuate but 2. If we have an old blankety blank day, what should we do? We should jack up the cards that don't fluctuate up to $100,000 to $1 million. As long as you maintain the payment, your score never drops below 750 ever again. Rules and tools is what you need to understand. There's no reason you had to bring the pain home in the first place, by the way. You didn't plan the problem. Now, I always tell you the Federal Trade says credit repair is a scam because that's what they say. Be careful. Maybe there's a company out there that helps you a little bit too. Have no idea. But again, they even say in the Credit Repair Organization Act. What you might want to do today is very simple, is why don't you download my book that I wrote over 40 years ago. It's been updated a couple of times too. It's called basically Winning the Credit Game. That's what most of them use anyway. It's got the letters to the creditors and the credit bureaus. It's a free download for you. Take a picture, send it to everybody you know. The next thing is on this social media thing, I always watch people talk about what the collection agency can do to you. Well, the difference is there's a lot more to that. Why don't we give them debt crisis intervention, and let's give them a copy of the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. It's right there. Take a picture, scan it, get a copy of that too. See, you need rules and tools to understand, no guessing anymore. Now, Analytical 750 is the best dashboard on the planet because why? They analyze you the first time for free. They charge $25 a month. They have all 3 agencies because we need that for the Chase Bank to get you interest rates 0 up to 22 months on personal business cards. Usually all banks use Experian.com. Credit Karma, you're fired, by the way, because you don't have that. You have no phone number to help you. Well, that's kind of pathetic as well. So take your picture, scan it later today. Now, Analytical, again, is going to call you every 46 days to help you even more. They charge $25 a month, by the way. And I don't believe you need that LifeLock thing anymore because they were indicted 6 times too. The last indictment is $100 million. So guess what? They're part of the dark web as well. So with that $25, they're going to help you with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Challenger, and Equifax. So make sure you can have personal and business credit at the same time and learn how to play and get your answers to your questions too. From there, we're going to analyze everybody. That's the goal. Analyzation is basically how we set up what needs to be done next. Rapid rescoring is basically put in place as well. 47 years ago, I created rapid score and rapid refresh for the whole world to use, not abuse. Very simple. The goal today is a 750 score. If you allow me to get you 5 to 10,000 cards, no problem, and a credit boost, which is called rapid refresh, and the paralegals help you for 9 months for free. Normally it's $14.99. They give a $500 discount on my broadcast today, so it's $9.99. I got to make you a CFO ready and quit bringing the pain home. That would be the ultimate goal, by the way. Now, let's obtain your credit reports today. Let me do that for you. Let us analyze you right away. Let me tell you exactly on Friday and Saturday, I tell you live exactly what you need to do on Fridays. I've analyzed 50 million people. You get stuck with me. We don't pass the buck to anybody. But again, anybody can get a 750, 90 working days if they do what they're told to do. But it's up to you to listen and follow through. Help me help you and other people. What does that mean? If you register your friends and family on the system, I'll call HubSpot, and they ever buy anything, you get a Zelle for 10%, store credit, or a check. Take your picture, and let's make a friend make a buck. Let's help the whole world today. The Ray Reynolds University is what I set up in 2001 that helped people like you. So let's get past go. Lamborghinis, okay, Duffy, mansions, of course, we got to do that. White men do jumps, too many people say we don't. More Lamborghinis, all right, race boats, helicopters, U-Docks, yachts, and Ferraris. I call this race rules, by the way. If you want to learn to play, we're going to write down see it, believe it, go get it. That's the ultimate goal for all of us. To see it, believe it, and go get it. If you want to join me on Saturdays, I have classes on Friday and Saturdays too. I'm online 6 days a week. I have no excuses. So if you show up, I'll show you how to do this correctly right away and help rebuild you as well, like Humpty Dumpty. I like goodies. You like goodies? Let's play, and here's some classes in rotation as well. We just did basically leverage and money. The next week is going to become the bank. Then we got the Dun & Bradstreet as well. I've been doing these classes for 49 years, by the way. We could play. You got a corporation today? Fantastic. You don't have it? I'll hand you one for free. What is the goal? Add history. Give you $25,000 credit for $2,500, 10 times your investment. No problem. And then basically line you up and pop you some credit. Give you a discount of $500 on that too to $19.99. The ultimate goal is getting the American dream, but it's going to be up to you to follow through. There's your Zelle. You got more questions today, you basically call 800-254-9506, and that's all you got to do. We got specialists standing by just for you. We could play the game to win. If you want to be invited to classes, I'd say take a picture here, click it and say yes. I'll send you a text or an email. I need your permission to do that too. Remember, I want to repackage you like Humpty Dumpty. Now let's pretend you're going to do everything I tell you to do. Let's say today we're going to take this corporate credit and we're going to buy our lifetime income. We're going to invest because what happens is borrow money is not taxable. That would be a fourplex, a Wendy's, a Jack in the Box, something like this, maybe a car wash. Let's get that all income. My problem in 88, 89 had a big problem, the shrinking my limits, and I got $53 million of credit at the time. I wrote my next book called Buckets of Money. I dissected and went to the library, found out C191D said a corporation can loan money privately, so I did that too. I'm trying to save the credit. 4.6 million became 190,000 a month, by the way. With those divisions and all those loans that I gave out, that was $1.1 billion of the notes behind that as well. So we get to play the game, and that's from 1989, by the way. So if you want to play, you might want to play with me, because I can teach you how to play the game to win every time. Manageable debt, 100,000 on personal, $1 million for the corporation, auto income, and then we have to learn to leverage money. Reference 3 times 5. Simple. If you need 25,000 in credit today, call the office. It's usually 10%, which is about $2,500, no problem. If you did it while you're online with me, it's $9.99. You save more than 50%. If you Zelle, you save 10% on the Zelle. If not, then you kind of blew it and just call the office and pay normal price. If you need 50,000, it's $29.99. A Zelle saves 10%. If you need $100,000 of credit, instead of 10 today, it's 5. If you need 200,000 credit for 100,000 you and for the corporation, it is $69.99. If it was done by Zelle, All right, now. There's your Zelle. There's your now. Or call the office at 800-254-9506. The goal is to repackage it like Humpty Dumpty. Corporation, what it says right in front of you, is a legal person. So let's protect it and let's go get the goodies through the division process. Your corp's allowed 4 things to the corporation as far as I'm concerned. Now you can do whatever you want, it's up to you. How's your way working so far? Corporations buffer tax, no tax due till it's profitable. Corporate credits are right off the interest rate credit card too. Buy a car at fleet price and the hotel gives you the free buffet. Divisions are your line of defense. They're cheap, multiple functions, buy at wholesale price, and multiple credit reports. And separate real estate, and very simple because we got tenants. That means we can have these people slip, fall, and citizens screw us up. The goal is to protect our ass at all times. Half of the division says line of defense. That's the ultimate goal. But again, that's winning the game of business. Now, it's nice to watch my clients out there helping people. I love that. You know, buy this, buy that, no problem. But I still don't like the fact they use the word credit repair. I wish they'd say credit rebuilding because that's what actually works. And some of the clients being silly, going, I'm rich. Some have been in prison. Some have actually been indicted a couple of times. The reality is I believe they're puppet masters. I don't think we should be telling the world you're rich because the IRS is listening. But again, it's going to be up to you. The reality is very simple. Would you like to be a millionaire? And everybody, yeah, I want to be a millionaire. No, the answer is no. All right, would you like to be a millionaire corporation? The answer should be yes. 9 divisions, 9 lines of credit. That's how you become a millionaire corporation, by the way. That creates up to $100,000 a month. In 12 months, that's $1.2 million, by the way. There you go. But again, a division, you give me a name of a person, corporation, entity. I can use the history and start a credit file, all right, for the division right away. We don't need tax ID till we daisy chain credit. Usually a division is $9.99, 3 for the already with or without credit, 9 or 12. If they were done today, take that picture so when you call the office, you understand what they're going to charge you right away. If you did it through me now during the broadcast, I double your numbers for an extra cost. 3 is 6, 9 is 18, and 12 is 24. So they double the numbers right away. By the way, you're in your 4th quarter, and the year's running out of time. The divisions need to be filed in 2025. If not, I'm going to say you kind of blew it. So get them filed right away. It's a Zelle, or you call the office at 800-254-9506. Once again, what is their goal? Every division should be known as a bucket of money. A bucket of money. So if we take the Ray Reynolds University, which is a nonprofit 501c3, they can help you up, rebuild you up and away, if you want to as well. I like goodies. You like goodies? See, this is reaching the dream. Think to be the impossible. I've analyzed over 50 million people so far in 49 years. I want everyone to be a CFO through the corporate structure. If you want to play, let me know. We're still going to say, see it, believe it, go get it. Once again, if you'd like me, Google review would be nice. Thank you. If you don't like me, please leave me alone. This is the way it works. Now everybody likes me and everybody likes you. It's how it works today, unfortunately. But again, I just want to help people. All right, be a puppet master, please. 1,013 divisions. All right, I'm going to say boring and steady, which I've said over 40 plus years. Because why? Those are the businesses you should be focused on, owning 25% plus to get you auto income. We will take that $100,000 plus credit we build you, and you will put $25,000 and $50,000 in an escrow, and now you've created auto income for the rest of your life. And from there, your irrevocable trust, and your children take over, up and away. They don't have to pay probate ever again if you play the right way. So again, your division will be 4A, mine will be 4. Then we have a B and a C. 4 people usually in a project since 1987. I turn my clients into my soldiers because I had too many escrows. I didn't have enough people to play with, so I turn you into those people. Is that okay? Now the bottom line today, all right, every 3 weeks I get to tell you what to do. 200,000 of credit, blueprint call, the ultimate goal, and the 12 months of coaching. Usually it's $27,000 today. If you did it right away with the credit there, it's $20,000 for you. If you don't do it, the reality is that maybe you don't want the credit. Okay. Then we do it for the $10,000. I got one left, and that could be you. Zelle, now, or call the office right away. If you don't, I'm going to say you kind of blew it. I have the bank accounts we get to use if we need those as well for transactions and show hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars as well. We get to play. We get to connect the dots, and that's the ultimate goal. There's your Zell. There's the office phone number, 800-254-9506. If you want me to coach your business 3, 6, or 12 months, they'll actually specialists will create a program for that too. What is our goal? Look behind the curtain every step of the way. Keep in mind today, we should see it, believe it, go get it, and we should stay safe and strong. Do our best. Jesus does the rest. Amen to that too. So I tell you right now to Zell. I'll call the office right away, because what I offer today is only good during the broadcast with you. The ultimate goal is we get to play the game, we get to play to win. So remember, we do our best. God does the rest. Amen to that too. Never forget at the end of the day, God loves us all.